Welcome to episode 1 of Chats with Rat. We've gone for the big dog early, Jimmy Tsitas. We talk about how he got into the system, 8 years, played for 8 clubs in that time, fatherhood, his drive and determination, and everything else that makes him tick. So enjoy. It's a great episode, and James has been kind enough to open up to us as well. So hope you enjoy it.
It's a fifth.
One job. Come
on.
All right. And today, the inaugural episode of Chats with Rat. We've got a clubhouse favourite here, and the one and only, the Governor of Grovedale in James Tsitas. James, thanks for joining me.
How are you, brother?
Good, mate.
Good
How
to
are
be
you?
here. You start at the top, so it's only downhill from here.
Oh, mate, thanks for joining us. And here we are as of today. We're at the start of pre-season, mate. So how's it been to date?
We've been back for about 6 weeks, so it's not the start of pre-season.
I've only just got going, mate, so it's just the start.
Have you been going?
Just going, mate. Just got going. So,
yeah, what was the question?
how's it all going, mate?
No, it's going good. It's going good. New coach, obviously, fair bit to learn, and it's a completely different system than I've ever played. What about yourself?
Same, mate. New game plan, all teething issues. But there wasn't too much coverage, mate, but the time trial king.
Yeah, no, so it's been good, mate. It's been good. Won the time trial, and for winning, I got to move into Took's house, and Took's got to live at my joint. So that's been nice, living in the mansion, and Took's got my shoebox down in Miami. So yeah, it's been nice.
And mate, just for all those listening at home, while I'm doing this is that I know that we have a very interesting playing group here, and some of the stories go through to the keeper, and some of the guys have been nice enough to share their stories with the group, and I just feel like some of them should be shared. So we'll get into it with you, mate. Tell us a bit about yourself and growing up and where you come from.
Yeah, so as you said, the Governor of Grovedale, I've never heard that before, but yeah, I'll claim it. But I am from Grovedale, which is the Bronx of Geelong, Victoria. No, it's not actually. It's pretty Chrissy. I've played up. It's definitely a great place to grow up. We lots of sport involved, lots of footy. I grew up with a boxing gym in my backyard. So my dad was a pro boxer and a boxing trainer. So I was always around fitness and used to take his boxers out the back and make him kick the footy with me. So very active childhood.
So back then in pro boxing, did he? How was it back then? Did he make his way onto the tally at all, or was it just going around in the professional back then, back in the sheds out at Geelong?
Just in on the radio. But he was good. He was Australian champion and a world Asia Pacific champion in the cruiserweight division, which is a random division. So, I think it's a bit lighter than light heavyweight. Didn't fight any of the big dogs overseas. But yeah, he was good. Australian champion and yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And mate, why I wanted to get you on was I haven't seen too many athletes with the determination, persistence, the drive as what I've seen with you. And it took you 8 years to get drafted, was it, from your draft age? Yeah. So you got drafted at 26. Yeah. I liken you to the song, I've been everywhere, man. Yeah, I've been to Mooloolaba, Currajong, all those sorts of things.
I've been there, yeah.
Where have you played? And talk us through that journey from when you did get overlooked in your draft year to getting drafted at 26.
Yeah, try and be quick, because if I went through absolutely everywhere with the full story, mate, we'd be here till tomorrow. But I started at Geelong Falcons and went through that system and didn't get drafted from there. And then it was like, what's next? So travelled up the road to North Ballarat and played footy there, which was great. The boys there trained really hard. I probably was a bit shocked at how hard they trained. So that kind of taught me how hard that I needed to train. So spent a couple of years there. Then Troy Selwood called and said, would you like to come back to Geelong VFL and move in with your old girl again? So, yep, moved back in with mum. Living out at home was too hard in Ballarat. I was, not making my sheets and leaving, stacked washing for months on end. So, yeah, I wasn't great at living out by myself for a start. And then, moved back to Geelong, played 4 years there. And then I signed at Williamstown because I thought moving to a standalone club would be best for me to get drafted. But then the season didn't get up and running. It was COVID, so I moved to SA, played footy there. You'd know a bit about SA, so played at Woodville West Torrens there for the season. Then
McGarry?
Sorry?
McGarry?
Not first season.
Okay, sorry.
So then I've gone to Darwin, drove up to Darwin, played there, which I was already playing a couple of seasons when I was at Geelong, but went back to Darwin in that COVID year because Vic was still in lockdown. Played at Southern Districts, back to SA, played at Woodville again, Mackers, and premiership number 2 that year. And then Suns. Yeah, so a few different states there.
Mate, and that's the thing, mate. I reckon, personally, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I got overlooked in my 18th year. I'm a very structured person. Once I'm here, I need to get here and train with the guys, but obviously the drive and determination to move from state to state and be able to take on the best leagues outside of the Australian Football League and to really better yourself as a player. Do you feel like through those years you've developed as a player and a person as well?
Yeah, I think that's the main reason that you've got to look at it and you go, why are 18 clubs overlooking me? Or when I was going through 18, it was probably only 16 clubs. I can't remember. I'm pretty old. It was probably 14, probably just a VFL. But yeah, it's like the clubs are overlooking you for a reason. So you've got to look in your own backyard and act on it. And yeah, I really wanted to get to this level or just better myself as much as I could. And so sometimes I probably took the feedback to heart because I was like, I don't want to be bad. I wanted to be good so badly that when someone gave me feedback, I'd probably take it bad. But it's until you actually accept the feedback and act on it, that was when I was able to see my footy grow. So it was actually accepting it. So yeah, it was when I started acting on that. And then I was given the freedom to play at Woodville West Torrens, implementing everything I'd learned. That's when my footy did take off. So I've tried to carry that to here.
Yeah, awesome.
And
mate.
just with me. Yeah.
And then also whilst doing that, obviously it can be full time, but for yourself, mate, your nickname is Cheat Code or Code, but there's more to it than just Tsitas, mate. So what actually is the cheat code? Because you had to do something outside footy.
Yeah, that's right. So I was a PT for a long period. As soon as I was 18, I was doing my Bachelor of Exercise Science and then my Master of Exercise Science after that. But, to get a job in the AFL system, you pretty much have to give up footy. And I was not prepared to give up my goal of playing AFL. So I had to do something else. So I decided to personal train. And then during COVID, gyms closed. I was PTing the whole time, and I was like, I'm going to actually start up my own thing. So out of my own house, I started up my own thing, and I was struggling for a name. And I thought, well, I've got the cheat code to fitness. I'm not going to tell you. If you want to find out, sign up, thefitnesscheatcode.com.au. And yeah, obviously it's a play on name with my last name. And so I started the cheat code from there, but it was very short-lived because then COVID happened, lockdown, Vic went in on a big lockdown, VFL season got cancelled, and as I told you before, I moved to SA. So the cheat code moved online. So it was fine. The guys were in lockdown in Geelong. And then, it was a long time they were in lockdown. So I built the product, moved to Darwin, so the cheat code online lived on. And then, I never went back in person. Cheat code online, moved back to SA. And it's here with us at the Suns, and it's still going.
Well, if there is anyone to learn how to train off, mate, it is you.
Thanks.
But
thank you. Let's stop it there.
For those listening, I have driven past on the way to training and seen James's car parked up on the side of the road, and he's been in there looking like he's been talking like a madman to himself. But the lengths that you actually go through, mate, to run this business on the side and also train with the demands that we do, how do you maneuver that in your everyday life now being a footballer to actually make sure that you don't let these clients go wanting?
Yeah, no, it's certainly come with its struggles.
You've been seen in a Mackers before accessing the Wi-Fi?
Plenty Mackers. So when I was Mackers was sponsoring the Suns for a bit there, and they gave us a free coffee card. So I would roll in there at 4:30 in the morning, set up my laptop, go in there, skinny latte. I wanted to just have a skinny iced latte. And the Mackers guys at that time in the morning aren't really friendly. So by the end of it, they knew I was coming in for a free coffee and to use their Wi-Fi. So they wouldn't even acknowledge me. Hey, how's it going? No, they would give them the cheat code, nothing. So, that was pretty challenging. But then, because I'd go to Mackers because I didn't want to wake up my wife and my neighbours. I live in a unit in Miami. But she's all good. She was training at the same, she would train the later class. I run 2 classes in the morning, one at 5, one at 6. She would train at 6. I was like, if you're getting up anyway, I'll just move back at home. So I've canned Mackers. But it comes with its struggles. When we had our camp in Twin Waters, you remember that, in Sunshine Coast, It was tough. Powley drove me up, Powley drove me back. And we had that demon session, like demons. So it was a later day than planned. And so the cheat code class was meant to start. And Powley and I are about, an hour from home. So it's either we pull over or I run cheat code, in the passenger seat. So Powley see me in full swing, training the guys. So I was just perched up in the passenger seat and giving them hell. But it comes with its challenges, but we always find a way.
Did Powley chip in any special comments?
No, he was sitting there eating his Hungry Jacks and he was sweet. It was, we were very depleted.
And then so one thing, mate, that I'm going to get everyone to do when they come on is I've said, tell me your best story. I've already prompted you a bit here just for something to think about. But then so your name's been read out by the Suns. You've come up here, done a trial, but eventually you were gonna touch on having to can the business for a bit, drop everything that you had going, move up here. So instead of you telling me the other day, I said just save it for on here, and you're going to take it off. So hit us with it.
No, I got absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
You were talking about when you COVID lockdown and you had to do the 2 weeks quarantine.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. No, that wasn't to come up here. Sorry, that was to come to South Australia.
Okay.
So of Woodville West Torrens. They've organised, because you had to get a cross-border exemption. So you couldn't even cross the border without getting an exemption. We were like prisoners there in Victoria. So I got my cross-border exemption. I left a couple of days later, handed over the cheat code to a substitute PT, and I was off. And I got to the border, and a police officer come up to me. He's like, "You got your exemption?" I said, "Here you go, cobber." And he said, what are you coming over for? And I'm like, I'm PTing. And he's like, mate, that's not essential. And it definitely is. Fitness is very important. But I didn't say that to him. And I was like, I'm also coming to play footy. What's more essential than playing footy? And he's like, that's not essential either. Apparently he didn't agree. And he's like, wait here, mate, because you'll be going back to Geelong. And I'm sitting there in my car. I was right at the border and there was no reception. So I'm sitting there 45 minutes without my phone, pretty hard with my own thoughts. I'm like, I've just packed up the cheat code. I'm trying to get drafted here. I'm 25. I need to play this season. The VFL's been cancelled. I'm going to be turned around. That's another year of not playing footy. A lot of negative thoughts going through this large cranium. And then he spent 45 minutes. I'm just sitting there, and then he come back and said, mate, you're right to go. You're right to go. Keep going. You don't have to go back to Geelong. On you get. So I did not leave my car. He said, go straight there. And I was very nervous, wore my mask on in the car, and it was only me. And I got to my apartment in North Adelaide, Woodville organised apartment for me. And so spent 2 weeks by myself in there.
So you had to quarantine when you got over?
2 weeks in, yeah. So 2 weeks by myself in a 2-bedroom apartment. You could only imagine what was going on in there. So I was the Woodville dropped off a footy for me. So I was running around the house like a madman. And so they actually got Sam Lowson to come over with me, another VFL player. And he was a couple of weeks later for some reason, and he got this tiny, he stayed in the Ibis in Adelaide, this tiny little room. I had a 2-bedroom apartment, no one around. And so I was running in and out of my living room, stiff arming chairs. I remember setting up, I was running around the table, stiff arming chairs, spin move around chairs. But because it got to one portion in front of the house, when you walk through the front door, it was very dark because I had the blinds closed and it was just dark. So I would handball against the wall, come from the door, ground ball, back pedal, handball against the wall, ground ball, and on repeat, kick it in the wall, working on my skills. 2 weeks of doing that, when Matt Goldsworthy, a player from the footy club, come to pick me up, take out the rower and the kettlebells and that, he opened the front door and the light shined in, and this white wall was red as just balls everywhere. This thing was absolutely covered. I'm like, shit, what are we going to do? Are we going to clean our way over gold? He said, no, stuff it. Who cares? So we bounced. But it was great. 2 weeks by myself, running in and out of the room, and got a bit of rug burn as well. I was running in and out, running through a door, stiff arm, tight turn around the couch, slid out, rug burn on the thigh. That was tough, but it was great.
That's a pretty ballsy call, mate. So, as I mentioned before, one of the most determined individuals I've met. Is this something that you've worked on, or has this been something that you've had the drive since you were since you can remember being a young fella growing up playing footy?
Yeah. No, I definitely think it is something I've worked on. So as I said, when I went to Ballarat early days, they trained harder than I could handle. So I went there and come from Falcons, and because I was like, I'm not expecting to get drafted, but that was the goal. So then when I was going to VFL, I was like, yeah, I'm going to succeed here. Like it had a decent junior career, and I'm like, I'm going to succeed. And it was a big punch in the mouth when I went to training. I'm like, this is hard. Like this is a massive step up. So yeah, I spent 2 years there, then went to Geelong, and I kind of was like, I was kind of looking for shortcuts. I was probably a little bit unmotivated, looking for shortcuts. Wasn't pushing myself that hard in the running. I was like, I can back off here. It's a little bit too hard. Like, you can be good and not fit. So I wasn't pushing myself as hard as I could. And then it clicked to me that how many running sessions have I done in my life? Like, and how many can I remember? As I mentioned before, there's that camp in Sunshine Coast where we can remember that demon session, 5.5 hours or whatever it was. But like, I don't even remember the running session we did a month ago, you know? So it's like, if I'm going to get through, I know I can get through it. So I might as well, instead of looking for shortcuts, how about I just give it my all? Like it's going to be 15, 20 minute running session. Why don't I just try and give it my all? And when I just started change that mindset, I was like actually pushed as hard as I could in the running. Like my results started getting a lot better. It started to translate on field. So like that mindset of, I'm gonna get through it anyway. I want to get better. So I knew I wanted to get better, but I wasn't like, I was still looking for shortcuts at the same time. So even though I wanted to get better, my actions weren't getting me there. So when I had that want to always get better, and then my actions started showing it, that's when I did start to get better. And then, I just really doubled down. Like I knew it was the thing that really made me the most happy. So getting better at footy, there was nothing that made me feel better. So I'd hang out with mates and have a few beers and have laughs and everything, but it wasn't giving me true satisfaction. So then when I realized the thing that's making you the happiest is getting better at footy and striving towards your goal, then I just doubled down. Like everything I do is to get better at footy. And also got dropped in 2019 from Geelong VFL. So I had an experience of going back to Grovedale and spending time there. So that was a good refresher to go, okay, I don't want to be playing this level. So it was like, you need to do everything you can to continually get better, because I knew I wasn't ready to go back to local footy. So I've just been doubling down.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that, mate. Since coming in here, you're twice a player you were when we first called your name out, and you're still getting better. You'll play a lot of footy this year, I reckon. And I listened to another podcast that you did actually as well, and you were speaking about the work-life balance and just your drive in that use, with you saying, look, this is everything I've ever wanted to do and wanted to work for, so why would I put time into anything else? Yeah. Like, I reckon that really, really sums you up.
Yeah, that's right. Nothing is more important to me at this stage than footy. And as you just said, I worked my whole life to get here. So like, why not put every egg into that basket? So that's where my head's at the moment. But it's also like in saying that, like, I've also got to remind myself that I do have a family as well, and to dedicate time for them as well. So they're definitely the two highest priorities. So if I'm going to put so much time into my football, this needs to be, equally as important. So I'm spending time into that, but then everything else, cut it to the side. Really, really try and hone in on these things, because footy's only, like, how long are we going to do it for? Like, I've probably got 10 years left.
I like to say 5, mate. Wishful thinking, but 5.
Yeah, righto. So we got half a decade and a decade to go, and then we've got the rest of our life. So you've just had young Daisy.
I've had little Daisy, and she's great. 6 weeks old now, and I'd like to say, mate, congratulations, but you're nearly there. Yeah. You don't know what you're having yet.
No. Indy, my wife, wanted to keep it a secret. Which has been a point of contention for us, because don't
know what colour stuff to buy. You're unsure how to set the room up.
I'm like, it'd be nice to find out beforehand. We could do it amongst friends and family, and then it's a nice surprise then. But she's like, I want to keep the surprise till the end. And I think that's going to be enough of a surprise and enough of an event as it is. We get to meet our baby, that we don't need the surprise of what gender it's going to be. But she's pulled rank there. She's the one that is giving birth.
Mate, yeah, get used to that.
a little bit disappointed. But that's right. As you said, 1 week to go. She's due 1 week today, but she's flying. We're out on the weekend for Jake Steen's birthday and also senior JL's on Friday night. So Indy's getting out and about. She's flying. She only finished training Cheatcode at about 36 weeks. And that was because we needed the baby to turn. So she was like, she felt like she was getting too strong around there. So the baby's fat head wasn't turning. It's obviously got a Tsitas head. So she was like, no, I'm canning Cheatcode. And she was doing really well. She's training 4 times a week up until about that 36 week mark. So, which is a beast.
No, she does. She looks great.
Kudos to Indy.
What sort of dad do you think you'll be? Do you reckon you'll be stern, or do you reckon you'll soften up? I've really noticed since having Daisy, you'll scroll through the phone, and now the way the algorithms work, I'm getting a lot more parenthood, childhood stuff. And I get emotional watching a few kids things now, or parent stuff. Like there was one come up yesterday where they put a camera on a young girl. There was a dad and his daughter, and he's watching on his phone, like her point of view, like feeding the chooks and all those sorts of things. And just like that relationship between father and daughter, like in the past, I just should have been like, oh, whatever, I'll scroll through. Like now I find myself watching and be like, oh, I'm really looking forward to doing that with my daughter.
Yeah. What was she, what was the girl doing? Like what from
just
point
living,
of view?
Like it was just more so as I said, feeding the chooks,
seeing the enjoyment,
going around, but then also like she might be running off, he might be doing something, and then he's got it on his phone where just what she's experiencing, the time and the stuff she's saying. Like
it's pretty cool, hey. So like no, I always joke around that I'll be like stern, I'll be training this kid that hard from day dot, but I know that's not the way to go about it. And you know, I've got the mindset that I do now with like I didn't get parented like, you know, as
again, not good enough.
Yeah, that's right. Like my mum was a complete opposite. Like I would come home from a stinker and she would tell me that I'll play the best
most
game
weeks. So weekly.
Yeah, exactly. But like, you know, obviously playing tack cup back in the day, I don't know what it's called now, but you drive home from, I know you were a Vic Metro boy, so you drive 20 minutes to your ground. Yeah, well, from Geelong, we driving a few hours and you know, I sit in the car after a stinker and mum's like, you know, you look cute out there or something. And she would always
she's lying.
Oh, actually, she was lying. But that's when I knew she was lying. So I was like, Mum, don't cue me. But I always joke around that I'd train my kid real hard. But I'm just looking forward to it. Like, you know, imparting some sort of knowledge, just the whole ride of it, you know, like trying to impart my knowledge and seeing my kid grow with a little bit of me or 80% of me and 20% of Indy and, you know, just riding the journey. Like, as I said, you know, footy's so important. We're at a stage where like drinking, going out isn't of high importance for me. As I said, it takes me away from my goals. So it doesn't fill my cup, I guess, you know, not to be cliche, but so that's why I'm like, well, with my other time, I'm watching a fair bit of Netflix. I'd rather divert that attention into, you know, riding this journey with my kid.
Yeah, you're right, mate. And it is an absolute privilege to raise a child, and it's something that I'll be forever grateful for. And with my partner Jordan as well, it's been great.
You already planning the next?
No, well, Daisy's my third. Got a couple in Thailand, mate. Just joking. So Daisy's been great, and George is a great mother as well. We're really enjoying it so far. I wanted to touch on, mate, you obviously had a monster start to the VFL year and you were in great form, got called up this year, played a few games, but then after the AFL season had finished, joined the VFL boys back again and continued your great form. But then, unfortunately, in the prelim, you managed to, rightly or wrongly, spoil a bit too hard and clocked a fella in the face. But then
chuck it on the poll. We should get a poll to the what was this
did you
podcast talk?
Sorry,
what is this podcast called?
Chats with Rat, mate. So thanks for joining. So we'll do a Chats with Rat poll. But mate, you've been rubbed out for the granny. Obviously playing Werribee against a bunch of guys that you'd played footy growing up with as well. So obviously devastating at the start. And did we appeal it?
Yeah, we appealed it. And that was probably the silver lining to it all. Like seeing the length that the club went through to try and get me off was like unbelievable. Like the support, like, you know, obviously we're an AFL club and that's the number one thing that this club wants to do is win an AFL premiership. But sorry, Rat's got that. Rat is literally
win an AFL premiership. No,
right, win an AFL. Stop. Thanks, guys. Rat, chats with Rat, we're done. No, anyway, I'll keep going. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just seeing the support.
Yeah, we'll go again.
Yeah. Seeing the support that the club went to, all the texts from people involved at the club, and then the players and the coaches, and seeing the lengths that Wayne and the rest of the footy club went to try and get me off was better be careful saying that. Get me off, but to get me off my suspension was
nice, good save.
Yeah, unbelievable. So obviously really disappointed, but to see the lengths that everyone went was humbling. It was awesome. So I felt loved.
Yeah, and now obviously Dimmer comes in, mate. Very role structured based system. How are you finding this pre-season?
Yeah. No, I love it. I think it gives great clarity. Like, as I said to you before, it's something different. Like, the way he wants us to play is something that I've never done before in my 400 different
all
teams.
18 clubs that you played for. Yeah.
And it's something completely different, but it's like it's a system, but it like gives you the chance to play as well. But I love the certainty that it gives in terms of I know where you should be. Every time I get the ball, I know where you should be, and you should know everywhere on the ground where you get the ball, you've got this option or that option. You can just play from there, but it gives great clarity within the system. So I'm absolutely loving it, and obviously he's really well credentialed. So yeah, what he says is it works.
Yeah, awesome, mate. And one thing to wrap up with that I'll be asking everyone: where do you see yourself in 10 years, whether that be footy-wise with the cheat code? What is James Tsitas?
10 years, I'll be 28, so I'll just be wrapping up my 13th year in the club.
Yep.
As probably be captain by then. Sorry, Talkers. I'm going to outlast you. Cheers.
Again.
Yeah. Exactly. No, stuff. I'm going for it next year, skipper.
Yep.
Beat him in the 2K, you're basically better.
Oh, you may as well. Yeah, next. Yeah. What's next?
Yeah.
How old will you be in 10 years?
I'll be 38.
38. So what are you doing when you're 38?
No, I genuinely think I can play till then. But let's say that doesn't happen. I reckon, like, hopefully I've got a big family. I want 5 kids.
5?
5.
Not 6, not 4?
No, I
5?
want enough for 2 basketball teams because, there's no point having 5. Like, I want to play Tsitas v Tsitas. So I want 10. But, getting that over the line with Indy.
You settled on 5.
Yeah. But look, you get to 5 and then, one more. Like, it's, so.
Then you can coach, you can both coach and then they do 3 on 3.
No, I'll coach both. She's, she'll be like my mum, hey, you guys look cute out there.
Okay, right.
I'll do the coaching. So she's good at plenty of things, but she'll leave the athletic stuff to me. So, hopefully I got my 10 kids by then. 10 years, that's 1 every year. So, we'll be going pretty well.
You'll be busy, yeah.
I'll probably be up to number 5 by then. Yeah. 5 to go. And, hopefully, the options are open. I'm not sure what I want to do. Like some sort of, I love the competitiveness of football. So if it's not into coaching or, involved in football still, it might be my own business. So I might push the cheat code. Obviously, this is number 1 priority. As I said to you before, I've really narrowed my focus on AFL and making a career of this. But then it might turn into, right, let's expand the cheat code. Or it might be, let's go into something else, real estate, some other business. I'm not entirely sure. I'm single-minded and I want to keep this. I love being at this footy club, so I want to keep this going. But something stimulating.
Yeah, you're right, mate. And that's a quote that resonates with me. Jalen Hurts, the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, has always been questioned, but he's always like, keep the main thing. So that's what you want to do for as long as possible. But on that, with growing the cheat code, we'll tag it, mate, and hopefully you get a few more clients. If anyone needs a bit of motivation of the morning to get up and get their session going, there's no better bloke on the list to motivate aspiring clients.
With the kid coming back into the house, it might be back at Mackers. So Mackers, get back on. Like, we haven't had the free coffee in a while as well.
That's right. You got to get there. Utilise a free Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'll do that, but I need me cough as well. So Mackers, if you're watching this, Ronald McDonald, if you're watching this, hook me up, my bro.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we'll can it there. Thanks to all the listeners for listening in. James, thanks so much for your time and sharing a bit of your journey and how you're going at the club so far. I really appreciate you and being the first and with your time at the minute with expecting your little one. You're actually on the clock whenever, so appreciate your time, mate.
Thanks, Brad. I appreciate it, brother.
All good.
Good work. Rufo still on the hands.
Hey, what's doing?